If you could talk to Christ, what would you say? Would you be like a little kid with just lots and lots and lots and lots of questions to ask? Or would you be like a celebrity that walks into a room demanding what they want and what they will have and just insisting, this is what I will have in my life, this is what I need. I know you'll do this for me. Would you be like a fangirl that just talks uncontrollably about all the ways that you're impressed by that person and all the ways that you have shown in your life that you're impressed by them and you want them to be impressed by you? Or would you simply say something like, thank you, I owe you everything? There might be times and situations in which we would say a lot of different things to Jesus if we could talk to him. But today I want to turn our attention to an old and familiar hymn that does just that talks to Jesus and puts words in our mouths that we can use to speak to him. This hymn has us joining our voices in a prayer to Jesus, asking him to help us in our walk of faith. The hymn is More Love to Thee, O Christ. It's number 142 in the hymnal if you want to take a look at it. It's in the hardbound book. I won't have it on the screen, so if looking at the words helps you, then go ahead and do that. But this hymn gives us a sentiment that I think a lot of us would probably overlook when it comes to thinking about what we would want to say to Jesus and what we should say should we get an opportunity to talk to him. This is something maybe we would overlook, and yet it's a beautiful prayer and so simple, because the prayer is, Jesus, help me love you more. The disciples on one occasion came to Jesus and said, Lord, increase our faith. That was Luke 17, verse 5. All of his disciples would be right through all of time if what we could say to him was, Lord, increase our love for you. And so this is what the hymn begins with saying in stanza number 1. More love to thee, O Christ, more love to thee. Hear thou the prayer that I make on bended knee. This simple thing is my earnest plea. More love, O Christ, to thee. What I love about that is two things. Number one, the use of the word earnest. This is my earnest plea. I seriously, truly, deeply want this thing. And then the second thing I love about it is its singularity. I seriously, sincerely, deeply want this one thing. And you see that through the rest of the hymn. You notice the singularity of this poet's prayer. That the one thing I need, I could look around at all the other things that I might want, but the one thing I know I need, and the one thing I pray for is, help me love you more. And so that takes us to the second stanza. Once, earthly joys I craved. I sought peace and I sought rest. I wanted the good life here on this side, and I sought after that, and I prayed even for that. And by the way, there's nothing inherently wrong with praying for those things. We are told directly to pray that God may grant us a peaceful and quiet life by the culture in which we live. So there's nothing wrong with that. But this author has seen that there is an even better way to look at this side of life and the eternal side of life. Once I craved the earthly joys, now Christ alone I seek. And not only that, but in seeking him, I turn to him to say, here's my list of demands, but all I want is you, Lord, and I will take whatever else you give me. Now thee alone I seek, give what is best. This all my prayer shall be, more love, O Christ, to thee. And then the third stanza. Then shall my latest or final breath whisper thy praise. This is the parting cry that my heart shall raise. And this, even in death, even in my last moments of this life, this still my heart's prayer shall be. More love, O Christ, to thee. I don't know how often you've been in the room with someone who was passing from this life into the next, if it's ever happened for you. I don't know how often you've contemplated your moment when you hit that final breath. But I hope that that's an aspiration we can all attach ourselves to. That when my latest, final, last breath is being used for something, that it will be to whisper the praise of my Redeemer, Jesus Christ. That's what my prayer shall be from here until that happens, is more love, O Christ, to thee. Jesus, help me love you more. Now, this hymn is often connected to communion. If you go through the back of a lot of different hymnals, they'll have all the hymns indexed by topic, and under communion or the Lord's Supper, however it's labeled, you will almost always find this one in that section of songs about the Lord's Supper. But as I read the lyrics, and as you're sitting there looking at them, there's not a single reference to the cross. There's not a single reference to the communion, the bread, the cup, not anything in there that would say this one belongs at communion. And so the question is, with its sentiments being so beautiful and so deep and so sincere, still the question is, why do we feel that the Lord's Supper is a fitting place to offer this prayer to Him in song? What better place in our lives to pray for Jesus to increase our love for Him than in the place where we most clearly see His love for us? That's why we sing this hymn for communion. Because this is where we see the incredible love of Jesus given for us. And the prayer that we return to Him is, Jesus, help us love you more. Would you sing it with me? More love to thee, O Christ, more love to thee. Hear thou the prayer I make on bended knee. This is my earnest plea, more